Chary living in the future or what? This is the ForceTube. With this thing, you can feel gun recoil in virtual reality. So when you shoot in VR, this will give your shoulders a kick, simulating a real gunshot. So ProTube, the company behind ForceTube, has recently made cups for the Valve Index controllers, as you can see here, but also the Oculus Quest. Yes, you can use the ForceTube with almost all major VR headsets, but in this video we'll focus on these two. So stay tuned if you want to know what it is like to shoot with this thing, what it feels like, and what the ForceTube is all about. So subscribe if you haven't yet to join more VR adventures like this one.
In case you don't know ForceTube yet, here's a quick introduction. The ForceTube is a haptic VR gun accessory made by ProTube. ProTube is a well-known VR gun stock manufacturer in the community. They've been making VR gun stocks for a while now, and we have reviewed the ProTube ourselves too, and have been very happy with it. Basically, the ProTube allows you to feel like you are holding a real gun or rifle in VR. I'll link this video below in case you want to know more about the ProTube. Now, ProTube has also created a gun stock with haptic feedback, allowing you to feel the recoil of your weapon, amongst other things. This back end vibrates and kicks when you shoot in VR, making you feel like you are in the battle even more.
So, ProTube sent us the first generation to check, so we can check what it is like. It is a dev kit, so it is still a prototype, and because of that we're not doing a review today in this video, but we are showing you our first impressions.
The Gen 2 version is already out for pre-order, and there are a couple of changes. For example, this Gen 1 ForceTube has an external charging solution and batteries, while the Gen 2 version will have an internal batteries charger.
But how do you use it? You can buy the ForceTube separately or with a ProTube, which is this end over here. If you already have a ProTube like the one we have here, then you can just buy the ForceTube buttstock only, because you can replace this back end and just put the ForceTube on it. And then after that, you will need to adjust this ProTube with a hex key, which is provided to you in a box, this one over here. And then you have to get it to feel right. And that probably takes you the most time, because you will need to adjust it to your favorite in-game rifle and also your arm length. I've talked about what I did to make it comfortable in our ProTube review, so check that out if you want to know how. Once you have it comfortable, you will need these cups. Well, we have the magnetic cups, but you can also get non-magnetic ones. We have two pairs here that we are going to focus on in this video. We have cups for the Oculus Touch controllers, the newest ones. So these would work on both the Rift S and also the Oculus Quest. We also have the Valve Index controller cups, which are the newest ones. And well, the advantage of using magnetic cups is that you can easily detach it and reattach it from the ProTube. That's handy for reloading, for example, or when you want to grab your knife. And well, after you got everything assembled, you can get started. The ForceTube connects to the PC with Bluetooth. For the PC VR, you will get a Bluetooth dongle that you can plug into the USB slot, and on the Oculus Quest, you can just connect it to your phone. So before we continue, while you are watching this video, please leave a like to show your support.
Now let's talk about using it with the Oculus Quest first, before we move on to the PC VR headsets. At the moment, there are no VR games on the Oculus Quest yet that has support for the ForceTube. However, you can already test if it works. ProTube made a test app and a test game that you can sideload on your Quest. The app allows you to open your Bluetooth settings in the Oculus Quest and connect with the ForceTube there, as you can see me doing here. You only have to give the ForceTube permission once, and after that it will automatically connect to the ForceTube if you open this app. After connecting, it will work with any compatible app that you launch. For example, I'm trying it out now in this test app provided by ProTube, which consists of shooting floating targets using a rifle. Every time I made a shot, I felt a kick on my shoulders, and I have to say it felt very cool. The game was simple and just for testing, but I had some fun in there, even though there wasn't much to do. I think doing this on a headset like the Quest immerses me more because I'm freed of wires. The Oculus Touch controllers feel good with the magnetic cups of the ForceTube. I didn't have much trouble getting the ForceTube to feel right. I think this is the case with the Oculus Rift S too. It's a shame that there are no VR shooters available yet for the Quest, but I think that takes time before those kind of games will appear. ProTube has told us that they are working with developers on this though, so I'm looking forward to that. For now, I am happy to know that we can enhance our Quest experiences with accessories like the ForceTube in the future. I am looking forward to seeing more, and let me know in the comments below if you are as well. Now, let's try out the ForceTube on the Valve Index. Using PC VR, there are two ways to use it. 1. You can use the ForceTube on games that have integrated support for the ForceTube. 2. You can use a companion app to make it work on any shooter. Let's start with the games with native support. To connect the ForceTube with your PC, all you need to do is turn it on. There's a switch here. Then pair and connect it using Bluetooth. So yes, you do need a Bluetooth dongle if you don't have Bluetooth on your PC. And then just run the game and it will detect your ForceTube and work straight away. Games with native ForceTube support at the moment are Onward, Contractors and Wardust. I've tried it out in Contractors and I think it is a lot of fun, but only once you have the Valve Index controllers adjusted with the ForceTube. I had some trouble getting it to feel right here. It took me way longer than with the Oculus Touch controllers, even with the gunstock calibration tool that Contractors provide. I'm not sure if this is because of the cups or the controllers, but I can't get it to feel as good as the touch controllers. Once I did get the hang of it, it is cool to feel the recoil of the weapons that you use. It feels more satisfying shooting enemies, and the kick makes it feel more like you are shooting a real gun. I think using the ForceTube in first-person shooter VR games makes it more immersive. Next, I tried it in Wardust 2, which has native support. To my delight, here I noticed that the ForceTube also rumbles when you walk or when an explosion happens. It has a vibration pattern for each effect too. For example, an explosion vibrates a little harder and longer, while walking vibrates like a thicker. It makes walking in VR feel more realistic, so the ForceTube not only enhances the VR experience when shooting, but also with other effects. After this, I tried out the ForceTube on a shooter that does not have native support. For this to work, you need to launch a companion app that ProTube provides to you. Here, I set the profile. One for Pavlov already exists, so I picked the profile here and then launched Pavlov. And it worked straight away. And I found that the ForceTube works well, even in a game without native support. I even have the feeling that it works better than Contractors. Every weapon has its own vibration pattern, and here the ForceTube also rumbles with you when you walk. I enjoyed playing Pavlov with this. I think there is a lot of potential for ForceTube if more and more developers integrate support, especially for someone who plays a lot of VR shooters. This is going to be the way to make it more immersive. The kick that simulates recoil is easy to feel but not too strong to distract, so it does not feel exactly like a real gun, but I'm not a gun expert at all, so I only tried shooting once with my grandfather's handgun and a shotgun at a gun range. The recoil in real life was a lot harder there, so the ForceTube is more comfortable and I appreciate that. I find using a gunstock in VR also makes shooting more stable and accurate. It does get tiring faster though, since the ForceTube is heavier than using just the controllers. So I think it will depend on how competitive you are to say if it's worth it. So I think the ForceTube works fantastic. It's cool to feel that extra kick when playing VR shooters. It makes VR shooters more fun to me. I've never really been into shooters until I tried it out in VR, and these kind of accessories really add to that experience. The only thing that would keep me from buying one is that the ForceTube is available for 299 euros, and I think that is an expensive accessory. I do not know how much it costs to manufacture something like this in a small industry like ours, but as someone who does not play VR shooters as often, I would not buy one for that price. Also, keep in mind that cups for different controllers are different too. For example, the Oculus Touch controllers have these cups that you can easily put the touch controllers in, and I'm pretty happy with these. The Valve Index cups are harder to set up and are a permanent setup. It uses zip ties to put everything together, and this means you cannot take it off anymore after putting it on. Not a problem for someone who always plays VR shooting games with this gunstock, but as someone who plays a lot of other games too, I like to be able to take it off. So, I would say that if you eat, sleep, shoot and repeat in VR and you have the budget for it, then the ForceTube is going to enhance your shooting experience. I think this is an accessory for the VR shooter enthusiast, someone who plays a lot of shooting games, but not so much for someone who does not play as much because of the price. If the ForceTube were cheaper, I would recommend it for anyone. You can pre-order a ForceTube from the ProTube website, which I'll link down below. And right now it is the only one in the consumer market too.
Whew. So, what do you think? Is this going to be the future of VR shooting games? Would you buy one? Let us know down below in the comments. And a special thanks goes to Ardamin for being our right-hand patron, and a special shout out goes to his Patreon page. Check it out, guys. And everyone, thank you so much for watching once again. And as always, VR on. Separately or with a ProTube. Then after that, you will need to adjust the ProTube. Whoops.